Welcome to the Success in Africa podcast with Dr. Modupe, your weekly dose of leadership vitamins to make you successful in Africa.
Hello and welcome to the Success in Africa podcast. My name is Dr. Modupe Taylor Pierce, and I am a scholar and practitioner of leadership and organizational development. Simply put, I study what makes people successful. I have been studying this for 3 decades with a particular focus on people in Africa. And in this podcast, I will share stories, lessons, and insights about people having success in Africa. Why this podcast? Because I am sick and tired of Africa being the poorest continent in the world. We are blessed with the greatest resource, that is young people. Africa will soon have the largest number of working age people in the world, and when these people achieve success, Africa's wealth will be unparalleled. Why? Because I don't know of too many Africans whose goal in life it is to die poor. Success in life, you see, is simply the achievement of a predetermined goal. Whether that goal is owning a house and a car, or creating employment for 1,000 people, or transforming your country into a high-income country, this podcast has been created to help you to achieve it. So, if you are serious about achieving success in Africa, I want you to subscribe to this channel. If you like this video after you've watched it, click the like button. This episode is brought to you courtesy of BCA Leadership, the largest leadership enhancement company in Africa. If you have questions that you want me to answer after watching this video, just log on to BCA Online. The link is on the screen, and post your questions there. Today we are going to be learning more about the importance of knowing your business. Remember, the theme for this quarter is VUCA. Working and living and being successful in a world where it is volatile, it is uncertain, it is complex, and it is ambiguous. And in that kind of a world, it is important that you know your business. You see, knowing your business means understanding fundamentally what value your business brings to its customers, or to put it another way, what problem your business is designed to solve. To explain this further, let me use the story of a business called M-Kopa. M-Kopa was founded by Jesse Moore, a Canadian former aid worker who studied in the USA and South Africa and then worked for an international agency for a few years. His work experience sparked a passion in him to create a sustainable business that would still help the typical beneficiaries of charity. In other words, people in the low income levels of society. After attending business school, he worked for M-Pesa, that is the mobile money company based in Kenya. And it was while working for M-Pesa that Jesse saw the need and opportunity for M-Kopa. M-Kopa, by the way, means to borrow. Kopa. The need was for affordable solutions to technology products that improve lives and alleviate poverty. And it started with safe lighting. You see, for many people in rural Kenya, the evening lights are emitted from a kerosene lamp. The heat comes from fire, and energy for a radio or torch comes from short-lived and expensive batteries. It's a reality that permeates every aspect of daily life in villages across the continent of Africa. Hundreds of millions of Africans do not have access to reliable grid-connected electricity. Jesse engaged with partners and founded M-Kopa to solve this problem. And in 2012, M-Kopa Solar entered the Kenyan market with solar home systems. The entry-level product was very basic. Consists of a 8-watt solar panel, a lithium battery, 4 light bulbs, a rechargeable torch, and cable to charge mobile phones. Very basic. By 2018, more than 600,000 homes in Kenya and Uganda were fitted with M-Kopa solar units. Imagine that growth. The key to this early growth was innovative technology and an affordable payment plan. Customers were able to buy the entry-level kit for just $30 initial deposit and then daily installments of about 50 cents, US cents, over a period of just over 1 year. Once payment is completed, then the customer owns the equipment outright. The payment program is linked to M-Pesa, through which the customers make their payments. This creates a symbolic relationship between M-Kopa and M-Pesa because M-Kopa brings new customers to M-Pesa, while M-Pesa made receiving the payments seamless and cost-effective for M-Kopa. The solar units are fitted with sensors that enable remote disengagement in the event of non-payment. Despite this early success and growth, Jesse Moore never lost sight of what his business fundamentally was. He always knew that his business was not a solar business. It was a consumer leasing and financing business. He understood that collecting data about his customers, understanding their buying habits, leveraging technology to make smart loaning and leasing decisions was the key to success in his company. The solar units were just one type of product that he could push through the pipeline once he had perfected the design and functionality of the pipeline. Since the formation of M-Kopa, the company has prioritized the value of data. It uses artificial intelligence to conduct data analytics, to recognize trends and segment its customers, provide the services that the customers need to be able to empower themselves into a digital world with access to services and capital that they need to lift themselves out of poverty. Indeed, M-Kopa is not an NGO. It is a business that creates an impact in people. You see, from solar units, M-Kopa then expanded its services into providing loans for cooking stoves, bicycles, water tanks, and certainly smartphones, which it is really well known for in today's market. Today, the company has undergone several changes in the products that it pushes through the data pipeline, but the fundamentals are the same. M-Kopa uses data to understand the needs of its customers and provides financing solutions to them that enable them to lift themselves out of poverty. In 2024, the company has had a wonderful year. It celebrated the acquisition of its 5 millionth customer. 5 million customers. And the vast majority of its customers first get smartphones from M-Kopa before they purchase other products or services. So see how they've sort of changed, where the focus was the solar units when it started, but literally the market demand has actually moved it to providing more of smartphones than anything else, because that's what the market needed. 92% of the customers confirmed that M-Kopa financing has made technology more affordable for them. 80% of M-Kopa customers report that they enjoy an improved quality of life because of the M-Kopa products. 70% of the customers report that M-Kopa has helped them to achieve their financial goals, and 62% of them report that through the use of the M-Kopa products, they themselves have been able to generate more income for themselves. Nearly 2 million of the 5 million customers of M-Kopa are first-time mobile internet users. Imagine the impact they are having. M-Kopa distributes its services and products through a network of direct sales agents who provide valuable sales and marketing and last-mile services to their customers. Many of these DSAs, as they're called, direct sales agents, are part-time, although some have increased their business to the point that they've become full-time. And the company now has 30,000 commissioned sales agents across Kenya, Uganda, Nigeria, Ghana, and South Africa. It is one of the fastest growing companies in Africa and has been proclaimed by Time magazine as one of the 100 most influential companies globally. So how did all of this come about? Well, the story of M-Kopa traces back to its founder. As I mentioned, Jesse Moore hails from Canada. He was an undergrad at the University of North Carolina, had an opportunity to visit Africa, fell in love with the continent, felt called to help improve lives. Initially, he thought, well, if I want to improve lives, then I have to work in the NGO sector, the development sector. This is where they're improving the lives of the poorest, right? Within a few years of working in that field, he realized, aid is not the answer. It's not really improving lives. There are serious limitations to it. The turning point for Jesse came when he spoke to a group of 14 farmers who his company, the NGO, had been supporting for some time. And he got to know them over a period of time. And at some point during the time when he knew them, these farmers had invested in their own smartphone, each of them. Now, when he contacted them over time, these farmers could not stop talking about how the smartphones were impacting them economically. In fact, he asked them an interesting question. He said, okay, listen, if you have to lose one option is you lose the support of the NGO today and what they do. Or the other option is you lose the smartphone. Which one would you go for? And all of the farmers said, we'd feel bad, but we'll do without the NGO support. That's how valuable the smartphone was to them. Saved them time, gave them information, enabled them to communicate, saved them money. Now, when Jesse then said, okay, fine, you 14 understand. Why is it that not every other farmer has a phone? And he started to investigate. And the answer was lack of capital, lack of access to capital. Not every farmer could invest or had the money to buy the phones. So Jesse realized that if he truly wanted to impact poverty and empower people to lift themselves out of poverty, he would need to create a vehicle that would give these people the access to the capital, access to be able to these kinds of poverty and reducing and revenue empowering products like smartphones or like solar units. So what did he do? He equipped himself with business knowledge by getting an MBA. Then he equipped himself with the networks by working for M-Pesa in Kenya. And through these experiences, he found the people and the partnerships and the credibility necessary to start M-Kopa. You see, folks, one of the big lessons I want us to learn is this. Jesse Moore didn't grow up in Africa, but he learned about the continent by asking questions. He didn't grow up on a solar farm or had a smartphone mogul for a father. In fact, even his parents did not own smartphones at the time when these 14 Kenyan farmers owned them. But he learned enough about them to be able to finance them. Jesse Moore didn't grow up as a banker, but he learned the consumer financing business. In a VUCA world, learning is critical. In a VUCA world, it's important to recognize that your current circumstance does not have to dictate your destiny because the world around you is changing. You can create your ideal future. When you create your business Be clear about the problem that your business is designed to solve. It is that problem that your business is designed to solve that will determine what kind of business you have. And when you know what kind of business you have, you will be more successful in growing it and achieving its full potential, because you will make the kinds of decisions that will be consistent with what kind of business you have. That's the lesson for today. In a VUCA world, know your business. Know what problem your business was designed to solve. Because the manner in which you solve the problem, the solutions might vary, but the problem fundamentally remains the same. Know your business. Well, we've come to the end of today's episode. I hope you've learned something more about becoming a successful entrepreneur in Africa, especially in a VUCA world. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and like this video. Please tell your friends about it so that together we can transform our beloved continent. See you next week.
Tomorrow belongs to those people who prepare for it today. See you next week.